नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बअद अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम क़ाल अल्लाहु तआला इन्ना हुदल्लाहि हुवल हुदा व क़ाल रसूलुल्लाहि सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम खैरुकुम मन तअल्लमल क़ुरआन व अल्लमा सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम व सदक़ रसूलुहुल करीम. Over here I have some exercises for you. Now, before Allah created the earth, right? Khalaqallahul arda. Yes. Now, since we have not looked at the maf'ul yet, so can somebody look at Khalaqallahu and tell me what do you understand from
Allah
there?
created him.
Allah created him. Okay, where are you getting the him from?
Allah created earth.
Okay, so let's say we look at it again. So where is my notepad? Where is my notepad? Right here. Okay, so before to make this concept understood, first let's look at khalaqa. Is khalaqa sigha number one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And if we have to translate it, it will be he created.
He created.
Yes. So we know that when we are looking at khalaqa, we know that there is an inside file and we're dealing with the sigha number one. Yeah.
Yes.
So what did we say earlier? That as soon as you see sigha number one, keep your mind open. That is a possibility that an outside file can show up. So after the verb, if you see a noun which is in the rafa status, then that noun will be what?
File.
The file.
Exactly. So that is the point. So now you're not going to say he created. You're going to say Allah.
Allah created.
Okay. So see how this little change can change the meaning, because now you're no longer saying, you're no longer using the inside file, you're using the outside file. Yeah. We know that
Right.
now verbal sentence.
Someone is talking.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try to. Okay. Brother Nehmet, if you see somebody like that, please just mute them for a second. Okay. So we know that in a verbal sentence, we have the verb, which is khalaqa here. Then we have a file, and we can also have a maf'ul. What did we learn about the maf'ul in the last session? That the maf'ul is in the nasab status. Yes?
Yes.
And we said that for file, for singular, if you have dammatan or damma, that is rafa status. For singular, if there is a fathatan, two fatha, or one fatha, that is a nasab. So do you see al-arda here as nasab?
Yes.
Okay. So can I say this al-arda is my maf'ul or my object?
Yes.
Because what is the detail? Allah created. Now your mind is thinking, what did he create? So the detail is he created the earth. Yes. So over here, this is khalaqa is the verb. It's an outside file and there is a maf'ul. Now, when we learn a little bit later about the maf'ul could also be inside or outside. So once you understand the file concept of inside and outside file, the same concept applies to the maf'ul. Agree?
Yes.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Now, did
Yes.
this example help you understood the concept we've been talking about, the theory we've been talking about, that what is the difference between an inside file and outside file?
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, good. So let's take a look at another example. Allah created the skies. Yeah. So same thing. Khalaqallahu samawati. Anything different here? The only thing changed here is as-samawati. Yes. Now, some of you might get confused by seeing the kasra under the samawati, because you might think that it is not nasab. But since you don't know this, I'm not going to test you and not going to worry about it. But is Allah here is an outside file?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. Now let's take a look at this. Allah created the skies and the earth. Khalaqallahu samawati wal ardi. Have you seen these ayahs from the Quran?
Yes.
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 Alhamdulillah. So still, is Allah here is the outside file?
Outside file.
Are we still working with the Siga number 1?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Over here, just for your benefit, as-samawati is in nasab, and this is the maf'ul. Yes. And in this sentence, khalaqallahu samawati wal ardi, this as-samawati wal arda is also the maf'ul, and it's connected by the word and. So can you have more than one object?
Yes.
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 Right. So still you have the fail, you have the file, and you have the maf'ul. In these examples, both the file and the maf'ul are outside. Yes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you can see the al-arda is a proper noun. You can see that it is a visible noun. It is not a pronoun. Do you see it as a pronoun, al-arda? What will be the
No.
pronoun for arda? It. Yes. But in Arabic, al-arda is feminine, so it will become ha. Ha mean for feminine. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Let's take a look at another one. Hamid helped Mahmud. Okay. So Nasara, if we again do our same thing we did earlier, if I open where is my notepad? Where did it go?
Robert, can I have a quick question?
Yes, please go ahead.
So from a Quranic point of view, this ayat comes in the same sequence, but if we have two objects, can we change them? Like
Yeah.
khalaq?
Yeah, you can say khalaqallahu al-arda was samawati.
Okay.
Yes, that's okay. But it doesn't sound that good because this is the pattern.
This is the Quranic text.
sequence.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we looking at Nasara as Siga number 1? Is it Siga number 1? Nasara mean he helped?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, since I noticed Siga number 1, should my mind be open about the fact that
There might be an outside file.
Okay. So let's look at the second part of the sentence. Hamidun. Did I see the Hamidun with the Dhammatan?
Yes.
Is this Hamidun in Rafa status?
Yes.
Is my file supposed to be Rafa?
Yes.
Yes. So do I have an inside file or outside file?
Outside.
Outside file. And what did he do? Mahmudan. Is Mahmudan in the status of Nasab?
Yes.
Mahmudan, yes.
So Nasab is always a object, right? In a verbal sentence, as soon as we see something in a noun and in a Nasab status, that most likely be my object. Yes. So what is the translation? Hamid helped Mahmud. Because in English, we have to write the file in the beginning and the object at the end and the verb in the middle.
Brother Abid, question.
Ji bhai.
There is alaf after dal. Is that addition?
It's okay. So in nouns for male, when you make nasab, you add an extra alif.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So here, let's take a look. Zaid hit 2 boys. Okay. So here again, look at the what is the meaning of daraba? Daraba mean he hit.
He hit.
Daraba mean action of hitting. So if I have daraba by itself, do I have an inside file?
Yes.
And that inside file is huwa.
Yeah.
Yes. But is it Siga number 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So can I have, if I see Zaidun or Zaidu, is Zaidu with the Dhamma?
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, it's a typo. It's supposed to be Zaidun. So is it my outside file?
Yes.
Okay. And then it says Nil Waladaini. Waladaini is 2 boys. So who's my object? The boys.
Boys.
Who's the file? Zaid. What is the action? Hitting. And who is he hitting? 2 boys. Yes. Al-Waladaini is in the status of Nasab. And if you don't understand this, inshallah, we can review the other subject or the other lessons we missed in the previous class. Then you can learn the why Waladaini is Nasab. But the overall point you need to understand, we're dealing with the Jumla Fe'liya. Jumla Fe'liya has 3 parts: a fail, a file, and a maf'ul. Yes. In plain English, verb, the subject, and the object. And the subject can be inside or outside. An object can be inside or outside. Yeah. Now we only have this variation or this combination when we have Siga number 1. If I'm dealing with Siga number 2 or 3 or other than 1 and 4, I really don't have to find an outside file. Did the concept make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Brother, the concept is clear. Sorry, one question I had is why we have a double page on Hamidun and a single one on Allah?
Oh, because Allah has the word, is Ismul Jalala. It has the al in it already. Yes. So whenever you have an al on a noun, you cannot have tanween on it. So if you say kitabun, yes. Did you hear the sound bun?
Yes.
So the two page were there, right?
Right.
But the moment and the kitabun, the translation is a book, any book. It's a common noun. Yes.
Right.
But if I make it a specific book, if I say the book, so in order to then I have to say al. Then I cannot say al kitabun. The al does not allow the tanween, which is 2 dhamma. So you have to drop 1 dhamma, right? Now, on the same token, if Allah has al in it, do you think there will be Allahun or Allahu?
Allahu. Right.
Yes, that's why Allah has only 1 page. Making sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I hope with these examples we set the stage. But now let's talk about something, and then we'll come back to these examples. How's that? Yeah.
Yes, Brother Abu, just one thing. I just want to make sure that I understood it correctly as well. For the Siga 1 and Siga 4, we do look for outside file, but it's not necessary.
Not necessary. You have to have this possibility that if in a verbal sentence, if you have Siga number 1, there is a possibility that somewhere later in the sentence, if a noun in a Rafa status shows up, then that will be the outside file.
Okay.
Making sense? Okay.
Excellent.
So now we are going to change gears and try to focus on our maf'ul. Yeah. And in order to do that, remember I said these 2 tables of the pronouns are very important, right? Because the verbs by default have how many pronouns? 14 pronouns. So when we are dealing with a file, what kind of pronouns we need? We need the pronouns of the Rafa status. Do you guys agree with me on that?
Yes.
Okay. So what are those pronouns? And if we don't know them by heart yet, then this is about time that we should get them, memorized by heart. So we know that this is the combination huwa, huma, hum. This is for the male. Huwa, he, huma, they 2 masculine, hum, they all masculine. Okay, let's see whose mic is on. Let's see. Okay, so Brother Nemat, please take a look.
Yes, I am muted.
Okay, thank you. For the female, it is hiya, huma, and hunna. Second person, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. Yes. Okay, Brother Sharik, can I ask you to volunteer and just read this out loud for us, please?
Right. Huwa, humma, hum, hiya, humma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu.
Yeah, very good. So do you think you have memorized them by heart? Can you say it quickly?
Huwa, humma, hum, hiya, humma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair. And do you understand the meaning?
I do.
Alhamdulillah. And you understand?
One or two. Yeah, but
No
I
worries.
totally understand.
Perfect. And you understand why this is ghaib, why is it 3rd person, why is it 2nd person, and what is the meaning of 1st person, and what is singular mean, dual mean, and plural means. Yeah.
Yes. The Zahaba example is easier. I try to remember it through that.
Perfect. Can one sister volunteer? Anyone? You can raise your hand if you want to volunteer. Am I not able to see a hand here? Okay, so Sister Ilham raised her hand. Go ahead, Sister Ilham.
Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu.
And you understand all of these things, right? Like what they mean?
Yes. Alhamdulillah. Yes.
So the part, if you have not gained, or if you haven't put in your brain, remember their name is detached pronouns. What are they? Detached pronouns.
Detached.
Meaning they do not attach themselves to anything. There will always be detached. Yeah. And their status is rafa. So the important piece of information you need to understand that this is a detached pronoun table, and the status of all of them is rafa. How many are they? 14. If they are in the status of rafa, what will be their role in the verbal sentence? They will always be the fa'il.
Right.
Is everybody understood this concept? If I see the status of rafa and these pronouns, these are my inside 14 in the function of fa'il. Their role in the verbal sentence will be the subject. Agree? Now, I have another variation of the same table. Look at this. So people, whichever table you like, you can use that one. So this one is a little smaller, but it is a different format. So huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. Yes. So if you want this table, is it good for you for printing? Go ahead and do this. It's a little bit simplified table. The other one has more detail. Now we are interested in finding out the pronouns of the opposite type, the attached pronouns. Which one we just looked at? The detached one. What was their status? Rafa. What are these ones? These are attached pronouns. And what is their status? Nasab.
Nasab.
Why do we need to nasab? Because we have to deal with a maf'ul. Yes. And maf'ul in a verbal sentence is supposed to have what status? Nasab. So if I am dealing with a maf'ul in with the pronoun, I'm looking for the pronouns of the nasab status. So the table stays the same. I still have the third person, second person, and first person, singular, plural, and musanna and jama, and then also have the male and female. So now the huwa translation was he, but now I need to know how do I say his or him. For example, if I have to translate he into his and him, do we have his and him in Arab in English language? Yes. So,
yes.
So in order for us to say that his or him in Arabic, we have the attached pronouns, and the huwa will change into hu. Huma will stay the same. Hum will stay the same. The she will become, hiya will become ha. And huma will stay the same. And hunna will stay the same. So there is very slight differences. So if we know the first table, inshallah, memorizing this table will also be easy. Now for the second person, it has a different flavor. Instead of anta, it has ka, and kuma, and kum, ki, kuma, kum, kunna. Yes? Yi and na. So remember, Brother Sharik, you were asking me how do we say us or ours. So inshallah, you will get to see this flavor now, and you will understand why do we need this and why do we need it, the attached one. So look at this one. This is for the mudakkar, muannas, then for second person, and the first person is combined for both mudakkar and muannas. So hu, huma, hum, ha, huma, hunna, ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna, yi, na. Yes. Okay. Now let's take a look at the same table in a different format, and whichever one you like, you can go ahead and use whichever one you like. Okay. So hu, huma, hum, ha, huma, hunna, ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna, yi, and na. Yeah. Since these are attached, they are always going to be attached themselves to something. Yeah. So remember, from the keyword attached, that means they must attach. Now, since I'm only dealing with the maf'ul, I am saying that these pronouns have the nasab status. But just to give you the additional information which I have given in the previous course, they're also of the jar status. but I'm not too concerned about the jar status at the moment. I want you to focus on the nasab status. Yeah. So some of my previous or existing students or the continuing students, I need a brother and a sister to repeat this table so that we understand that you are up to speed on this. So who wants to volunteer from the brothers? Or Sister Unaiza, you go ahead.
Hu huma hum, ha huma humna, ka kuma kum, ki kuma kumna, ana ja na.
Ye na or ye. I
Ye na.
think ya or it may be more like ye. Yeah, that's sound.
Ye. Yes.
All right,
Ye na.
Jazakallah khair. And so you understand what this table means. And the important thing to remember, these are the attached pronouns and they are of a status nasab. Because when you have a nasab status, then you're by default looking for a maf'ul in your jumla fi'liya. Yeah. Brother Falak, you had your hand up. Would you like to repeat it now?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Assalam.
Hu huma hum, ha huma hunna, ka kuma kum, ki kuma kunna, ye na.
Okay, very good. Now let's just go back one more time because I want to go over the meaning with you guys. Okay, so who, when you see the word who, is his, him. Huma, their, them. Hum, their, them. Remember in the detached one, it was they. It was he, they both, and they all. Yes. Ha will be her or hers. Them, because it's still female, but they're two. So them and them. Ka is you. Huma is you. Actually, your. So there is a difference of you versus yours. And ye is me or mine. And na is ours, us. So let's take a look at something else. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show these two tables side by side now. Okay. Let me just draw them so that we know what we're talking about. Oops. Okay. So when we are looking at detached pronouns, we are saying huwa for muzakkar, for third person, singular. Yeah. And what do we say for the attached pronouns? Who. So huwa changes into who. Huma stays huma. Hum stays hum. Hiya changes into ha. Huma stays the same. And hunna stays the same. Yeah. Anta change into ka. Antuma into kuma. Antum into kum. Anti, ki, antuma into kuma. And antuna into kunna. Ana changes into ye. And nahnu changes into na. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Now, once you see that example, inshallah, you will understand what is the purpose of that. So, since these pronouns attach themselves, so let's say if they attach themselves to another noun, let's try that. Let's see. These are the attached pronouns, right? Okay. So, if I give you the word kitab, yeah, I want to say his book. How are you going to say?
Kitabuhu.
Kitabu hu. What is the meaning of kitabu hu?
His book.
His book. I want to say kitab of both of them. So their book. How many people? Dua. Kitabu huma. Now tell me now, in the Quran, have you seen these words? Kitabu hu, kitabu huma, or some other words?
Kitabuhum. Yeah.
Like for example,
Yes.
Rasuluhu. What is the meaning of Rasuluhu? His messenger. Rasuluhuma. Their
Their
messenger. How many people? Two. But you
Two.
need to know the context, whether you're talking about male or female. Okay, Rasuluhum, their messenger.
There.
Messenger of all of them. So Kitabuhum, their book. I want to say her book. I'm going to say Kitabu ha. Her book. Yeah? Singular. Kitabuhuma, their book, but this time I mentioned female. Kitabuhunna, their book, female. Now, how many of you remember reading Surah An-Nisa? If you go to
Yes.
Surah An-Nisa next time, you will find this word hunna all over the place. Because what is the chapter name? The Nisa, the women. So if women is feminine, right? So are you going to find the hum or hunna?
Hunna.
You're going to find a lot of hunna in there, inshallah. So next time when you read Surah An-Nisa, you'll find. And anytime, again, you come across hunna, you remember that this is for, we're talking about some feminine gender here. Okay. So when we say your book, I'm going to say kitabu ka.
Humma.
Yes. I want to say book of both of you, kitabu kuma. Yes. And all of you, kitabu kum. If I want to say to a feminine, your book, I'm going to say kitabu ki. Yes. And kitabu kuma is going to be combined, similar for both male and female. And the kitabu kunna will give out the fact that you're talking about feminine gender. Yeah. I want to say my book. So I'm going to say kitabi.
Kitabi.
Yeah. If I say my deen, kitab di ni. Yes. Yes. Or my Rasul, Rasuli. Yes. And our Rasul or our book, kitabu na.
Na. Rasuluna.
Yeah. Okay. You know, when we make a dua, we talk about our hearts. Don't we say, make our hearts firm on the deen? So we say, kulubu na. Yeah. If I'm making a dua in a congregation, like in a group, I'm going to say, kulubu na. But if I'm talking about myself, I'm going to say, qalbi. Yes. Okay. So I'm because I asked everybody to mute it, so I can't hear you, but that's okay. The silence means that you understood. But if you have any concern, please raise your hand, inshallah. Okay. So kitabuna. Yes.
Yeah.
Question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wassalam.
This concept of attached and detached pronouns work very well with the ism that we learn it. This way it's easier to learn.
Okay. All right. That's a comment or you have a question?
No, it's very helpful.
Okay.
I mean,
yes. So
like we know like my book, your book, it's simple to understand it this way compared to attach it with the fail. Yeah.
Inshallah, when I show you the example today, you will be able to understand the other example easily, inshallah, as well.
I agree. I agree with the brother. Your handwritten examples are them were like zahaba, zahabu. They were very helpful.
Oh, mashallah. Well, in the
learning standalone is difficult.
Oh, I see. Yeah, see, I used to write a lot and I still want to write a lot, but I found out that now I had more time, so I kind of converted them into these presentations. I hope these presentations are also helpful, right?
Yes.
They're helpful, but I agree with the brother comment that when you attach when you make it complete, kitabuka, then it's easier to remember. The standalone sira is a bit hard to.
Okay, no worries. Inshallah, practice will make you perfect. And the more you read the Quran now with this analytical mind that, oh, I'm trying to identify these words, then inshallah, you will start to see and you'll feel really happy, by the way. Your relationship with the Quran is about to change if you just do this extra bit, inshallah. Okay.